Hello everyone! I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about the age-old argument in the writing world of the blue curtains. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking is, blue curtains, what? There is this old saying in the writing world of, why are you telling your reader that the curtains are blue? And what this means is the idea of cutting unnecessary details from your story. However, conversely, and I have talked about this in some of my previous videos, is that unfortunately, it seems that the current trend of a lot of writing right now is to cut all details from stories. That all detail is considered unnecessary to the story, and I've already put my stance that I don't agree with that one tiny bit because y'all, my stories have all of the details. However, I do want to talk about today cutting the blue curtains in your stories. Now, this may seem like, whoa, back up. Your stories are all full of the details. Why can't my story be all full of the details? That's hypocritical. Yes and no. And here's the thing, is that there is this fine line that you as the writer have to walk between your personal writing style and readability. You have to find a middle ground in order to make your book successful. Your writing style is what makes your stories uniquely yours. The reason why your readers come back and read your books. And readability makes sure that your readers can actually read it, and they're going to want to actually read the whole thing all the way through and not just give up because their brains can't wrap around what you're trying to do, or you're bogging it down with unnecessary stuff. So that is a fine line that I do walk with my novels, where yes, my novels have a lot of detail in them. I go into vast detail, creating rich scenery and just rich experiences for my readers. However, when I'm writing those, I also cut a lot of those details out before they get to publishing. There are a lot more details that I originally put in my rough draft than makes it to the cutting room. And the reason for that is because, as I said, you don't want to bog down your reader with unnecessary details. So, how do you tell the difference between good details and unnecessary details? Blue curtains are the standard for helping you to see that difference. For example, we're going to pretend for a minute in your story, your character walks into a room and there are blue curtains. Do you need to tell your reader that the room has blue curtains? Are they important to the story? How do we determine that the blue curtains are necessary to your story, whether it's actually part of the plot or it's an important detail to help further immerse your reader into the story? An example of it being a good detail is you're going to describe that character is going back home to their childhood home, and they walk into their childhood room, and the faded blue curtains that have been there since they were 5 years old, and they turn and they see their little race car bed, and it still has the little race car sheets on it, and they look up and they see all of their childhood sports trophies all dusty on the shelves above their race car bed. That is creating a scene to show you that this room is old, disused, and hasn't been changed in years. The fact that we are bringing into it that the curtains are faded and that the curtains are blue, which may or may not denote gender or denote what age possibly that this room belongs to, whether a child or an adult. Maybe you want to get more specific about what shade of blue they are, because navy blue curtains are going to give a way different vibe than baby blue curtains. Maybe it's a nursery. Maybe your character is walking in and they're putting the finishing touches on their nursery, and as they hang up the baby blue curtains, oh, it's the final touch they needed, because as they rub their pregnant belly, they're going to welcome their new son into the world. These are important details for why you need to keep the blue curtains. Does this add to the story? Does this help tell the reader about this space that this character is existing in? Does this help give you connotation about why exactly they're in this environment and how they're interacting with it? Those are important, good details for keeping the blue curtains. A bad example, an example of an unnecessary use of blue curtains in your story, is your character is walking through a house and it's a high action scene, and they're a police officer and they're hunting down this criminal that they've been looking for forever, and they have their little gun out and they're checking each room to make sure it's all clear and they're not in the room, or there's nobody else in the room, and they're like, oh, I barged down the door of this one bedroom and it had blue curtains and gray carpet, and then they move on to the next room. Do we care what color the curtains or the carpet are in this room that the main character is looking at for all of 5 seconds? No. Your reader's going to be asking, is this going to be important later? Is this room going to be important later? Do we need to know about this carpet and these curtains? Why did you tell me this information? If you tell details like that are just in quick passing like that, and they literally don't serve any purpose other than you're just going to tell them things that are in this room just because, you need to cut the curtains. They don't need to be there. In that case, that's a high action scene. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for this particular person. It doesn't add anything to tell you. There being blue curtains doesn't tell you that this is a drug dealer den or some like office that some white collar fraud guy lives in. It doesn't tell you anything about the environment. It doesn't tell you anything about the situation, and it doesn't do anything to further the plot along. And that's kind of the barometer for, is this a good description or is this an unnecessary description? Is keep that in mind in your brain, is how does this help my story? And applying that with the blue curtains principle is really going to help you trim out that unnecessary stuff that just bogs down your story and just honestly gives red herrings that are frustrating to your readers, that are completely unintentional and just don't need to be there. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, and if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all, I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.